Arsenal fans, welcome to Cannon Fodder TV and the Big Sunday Show. Joining us tonight is debutant Joan Smith. We've got Richard
Hi
and
guys.
George and the First Lady back on her first Sunday show. So top of the league, beating Tottenham 3-1 yesterday. It's going to be a good show. So join us after this short musical intro. Okay, so I just want to double check we are going live because last week we had some gremlins. I don't know if everyone noticed it, but
Yeah, there's nothing on the chat yet, but maybe it's a bit quick.
let's have a look.
Use moderators is on there, isn't there?
We're definitely going to be there. Let me double check.
Let me turn on.
Yeah, we're live. We are live.
Question. Would you build the
All right, cool.
Yeah, we are live. So no, good.
Yeah, there we are. Cool.
Colin's here, so we know we're live. And it's going to be a big show. So yesterday lunchtime. I don't know about you, but the nerves was flowing early. But God, it was an early start, wasn't it, for everyone? Joan, you probably were up at like 2 a.m.
That's right. Yeah, it was the overnight Friday for me, and then to make sure I was there on time the next day.
God, Joan, just let our viewers know a little bit about you and
Okay, so
what you do for the cause.
I'm not Joan Winters, as it comes up on there, but Joan Smith, and I've been an Arsenal 61-62 season, and I witnessed the first home game at Highbury. I could just about barely see anything, and that was when I sort of fell in love with Arsenal, and they've been in my heart and my soul. And no matter what happened, whether we're top, bottom, or they'll always be in my heart, because that's what being a supporter is all about. Fan things is very big, very, very big difference. And I've been obviously, I've seen invincibility. I've seen many things. The one thing that hasn't changed is that always be Arsenal, will always be the Gunners, and it's our job as generations to always enter and support. I love this club to the bottom of my heart. I won't see it through the anchors. I won't see it sort of bad mouthed and treated as a laughing stock. I'm a Gunner through and through, and always will be. Apart from supporting Arsenal, an actor, and I'm about to be playing a witch and I'll try and display some Arsenal colours. So I always have a costume item that's got. I played a homeless character a few weeks ago, and I was wearing red and white Arsenal stride and bring a bit of the Gunners with me wherever I go. Well, they're always in here, but I always have something on display. So that's a little bit, and I've got a Twitter account that I really enjoy doing, and I hope people enjoy, which I always try to keep as neutral and as honest as possible, and always answer people. We all have opinions, but there's a way of showing those opinions and stating them. I think when they're done in the right way, you get a good level of support, and you get agreement, but you'll get people who understand what you're talking about rather than poking fun. I abhor is the club being made to look a laughing stock, by certain platforms. It's a big no-no. This is Arsenal Football Club, not Arsenal comedy. So I'm very sort of passionate about those sort of things. So that's a little bit about me.
That's it. Well, you missed off a real good good fact about you. You're a season ticket holder. You travel home and away.
Yeah, I travel home and away. I unfortunately with some of the acting things, sometimes you can't get there, but I always can. But I'll be on the edge of my seat. What that long journey to Baku. It was a very long journey to Baku. Quite an experience of full cultural experience as well. And I don't know if any of you saw it, but I was BBC while I was over there because I met up with a Chelsea fan, and we actually met in the transit lounge at Dubai, and we exchanged and stuff, and we spent the week together. We both ended up being filmed by the BBC, sharing, and then we went back. They called us back when we had the Arsenal Chelsea Cup final, I call it. When we were invited there back by Ollie Foster. One of the most serious things I've ever done is to walk into a totally empty when we did the on-pitch interview. It was so weird up. But when I walked in there and I was so close to the pitch, I really hope and felt the pride that I felt wearing my Arsenal there I hope was the level of pride that every Arsenal player who's walked out has felt, because it was the most amazing feeling. It really was. But massive stadium, and there's only 3 people. Well, that's the 2 people being interviewed in the interview. I won't forget that. So Jill and I sort of stayed in touch, and but yes, a season ticket holder, home and aways, and always do what we can to help our disabled supporters. And I feel it's only right to say on this panel, I'm not sure how know Daniel Bailey from Daniel Bailey TV.
He's one of my best friends.
Yeah, and I really have to announce that the sad news on this platform, that his guide dog sadly got put to sleep on Friday. He was only and I think as platforms it's nothing by the situation, but to give Danny and his family this platform of everyone who follows him and Arsenal, because Danny lost a best friend. I lost a mate. I was walking him as a puppy. I lost a wonderful 4-legged friend supporter. So if we do manage to sort of get it really nice, because every support is brilliant, whether it's on one leg. But it was a sad day. I was at the game with Danny yesterday, and I said to him, Arsenal are going to win this game because we're going to win it anyway, but this is for the dog, and they won. So all day yesterday to be sitting there and the dog wasn't there. So I hope we can pass our thoughts at a particular time.
No, definitely. It's sad times whenever it happens. But yeah, please drop a follow for him, and if you put it in the in a message, and I'll try and share and try and get some support over to him. So yeah,
that'd be great.
No, it's all good. But all right, just going to move on quickly. First Lady, welcome. How are you?
Good. Come on now, we won.
I never doubted it, she said. No, I was quite... And we knew he was going to get a penalty. Oh, it made him feel better, Nick.
That's good. And Georgie boy, yeah, you're looking a little worse for wear. I picked you up when you were sober, but obviously I left you. And
Yeah, mate, that was at like 8:30 in the morning. though. That was. No, I don't really get hangovers. I just feel really tired today. So yeah, it was a good day. Obviously, we went to the Coronet first, and then went to the ground. Then went back to the Coronet. Then ended up in the Big Red in Holloway Road. Then I got an Uber home. So yeah, it was a really good day. Yeah.
A good night.
Yeah,
from what I remember, anyway.
It's pretty standard for
Yeah,
you, George. I know every game seems to be like this.
yeah, that's what I mean. It is standard. So I was actually alright because I could actually remember what happened last night. So I must be getting better. So yeah. Obviously I went with Bray to go towards the game. We got to, where is it, Potter's Bar, and then the trains decided to cancel. So yeah,
it wasn't good.
it was all good.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Richard, you good?
Yeah, a bit knackered after work, but buzzing from yesterday. So it's always good when we win. Even better when it's against Tottenham.
Yeah, no, that's it. As I say, from early doors, yeah, those nerves and that kind of nervous energy always comes in. I think I don't know what it's like for you guys, but not so much always bad nervousness, but though you'll always have those little tingling kind of like feelings inside, and we know when Derby Day comes and it means so much to everyone, and then obviously when it arrives, certainly as early as it did this time round, it was just. Yeah, it was just straight on you, and you just want to kind of get into the stadium. Bumped into DWTT as well, so he'd come down from the States to watch the game as well. So it was quite nice to bump into him. Obviously, only seeing him from being on live streams, so that was quite pleasing. He headed off to Leeds to go and watch the game today, so he's had a proper. Like Premiership weekend.
That was a good game.
Good, isn't
it? Yeah. So he's probably asleep now. But yeah, yeah. So that was good to see, and I was lucky enough to get inside the old Highbury as well on the way back. So I've done a little video for him to kind of like show what it was like inside, and just walking through it. So that was nice. But yeah, the start of the game and the lineup. When that news come in at just after 11:30, I was quite pleased with this. Obviously, considering I would say probably the media side of things really bigging up like a total destruction of Arsenal. Like we're in total disarray. We've got X amount of players injured, and it was. To then suddenly see the lineup that come out here, and you're suddenly thinking, are these players that have come back in short of fitness or not? And yeah, from the way they were scaremonger and everything, and everything's a crisis with Arsenal. I don't know how you guys feel, and sorry, ladies as well. It is always a crisis, isn't it, with Arsenal? It's always built up by the media that we're in a crisis, be it a couple of players out injured or whatever like that, and we're in total disarray because of the injuries. But it turned out everyone was back. We've got the A team back. And what did you think, Richard? First of all, about the lineup when you saw it?
Well, I was extremely pleased. I mean, seeing the party on the field, that was the important one. That was that to me. You wanted him over Lokonga, and what the others, you wouldn't have been unhappy to seeing Zinchenko being Tierney in his place. and the other one would have been Vieira for Odegaard. But I was quite happy to see everyone fit and ready. And when you look at that bench, it's a reasonably strong bench. So you have to be happy with that going into the match.
Definitely. And yourself, Ange?
Yeah, I pretty much this factor was Partey. I really wanted Zinchenko back in. It's just become favourite players now. I love his passion. End of that. Yeah, just well about the bench. And I was really happy to see Reece Nelson on the bench. It's kind of almost been a bit short-changed because where did he get loaned off to? I can't remember.
Feyenoord.
Yes.
Yeah, and it didn't work out first of all. And I remember they were saying stuff about fitness, and then suddenly they changed their minds halfway through that season, and they thought he was good. And then of course he's come back. He's had a bit of an injury, and as far as I'm aware, he really wants, and I hope he can in some form.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm sure over in the Europa League he'll get his chance if he stays fit. Then there'll obviously be minutes there, I'm sure. Georgie, when that news broke, happy?
Yeah, I was. It's like everyone else has echoed, like about Partey was the main one for me because I wouldn't like if Zinchenko was on the bench and Tierney was playing, I wouldn't have been like too worried. But I think having Partey in that midfield was the better one for us. It was good to see Odegaard back. I felt a bit sorry for Vieira after how he played against Brentford. But like you said, Bray, it gives us options. Like you, in the second half, you look at all the subs that we brought on. No way would we have been able to do that last season. We would have probably had to brought on like 3 or 4 academy graduates. So, and then I thought Partey had a really good game as well. So, kind of echoes the importance of having him fit, and we don't know how long we're going to have him fit for, really, though, do we?
No, we don't. Yeah, he looked certainly from obviously when he obviously got taken off before the game against Brazil, obviously midweek. It looked a bit worrying, but obviously to play how he did in this game showed that obviously I think that was a bit. I don't know. How do you look at it? People say, "Oh, he's either feigned it or he's or whatever," but he didn't look like.
He felt something, and they did it precautionary, didn't they?
Yeah. So, but he looked very fit. He didn't look out of sorts. He didn't.
And I'm glad he came off after 70 minutes.
Yeah, but as I say, we went through and he got through it. But he didn't feel at any point that he was struggling, and it was just nice to be able to bring on players and like for like. Joan, anything else to add on the lineup? Was you surprised?
No, I mean, I was. I didn't actually see the lineup. I was busy outside meeting people. Somebody over from Australia, and then handing some tickets on. All this sort of stuff. So until they come, I didn't really know who was starting. So I wasn't looking at my phone. But yeah. I think I was delighted, obviously, with the lineup, and I think the negativity and the stuff against who's fit and who's not. I wait until the sheet's printed. I don't bother to listen to a lot of the reports because to make us look weak, not weak. The fact is that nobody likes the fact that Arsenal are really doing well now, and everyone hope to try and change minds against that. We are place, and we're going to continue to be in a good place, and it's very, very important to have good people to come. That's something we've not had the luxury of, is it, for a while now, that if somebody is going off, I think Partey and Xhaka were, I mean, the whole team, the things. the whole team are good. There's connections between them, covering each other. When the penalty went in, a few seasons ago, it wasn't a chin drop in. Right, it's happened. Let's get on. We're going to get on with it. Very pleased with everything, and so we've got options. Not broke, don't fix it, sort of stuff. But if it is broken, we can make that are going to work equally well. So didn't have any complaints, and it's absolutely doubt for me that we can win that game anyway. So
nah, that's it. But then, yeah, well, obviously we get in the stadium, and then look, we're gonna like lighten up the mood in this stream. But just before the game, this happened. And I know that stadium was absolutely rocking, and it has been for obviously this season, probably the last 18 months, where it's been properly buzzing. Everyone seems to be going that right way, and it's just so pleasing just to see how everyone's kind of now almost. Well, I wouldn't say everyone, because there was a large portion that were backing Arteta, but you had the ones that were dissenting about how it was going. I'm now moving across and thinking that it is the right way. You're never going to always please everyone, are you? On that side, there's always going to be someone there who still wants to be proved right. But yeah, hearing that before the kickoff, the players must have literally just like looked up and around and just thought, wow. And I think through the whole game, I think we gave them the energy and we pushed them through. So yeah, it was a good game. It was good start, wasn't it? The first passages of play was quite good. I thought we controlled the ball well, but ultimately, I would say the early stages, Tottenham had a couple of the better kind of chances. They had a couple of balls had gone across. Ramsdale had made a save, didn't he? From I think it was a little cross from Son early on. But yeah, we were in control. But then, as it kind of comes with Arsenal, it's we kind of do that, don't we? We have that like tendency to kind of allow something to happen out of nothing. But as it went on, we did the job, didn't we? And it was nice to see. What did you think of the first half, Joan?
the first half, well, when the Hartley's goal went in, I mean, I think everybody expects it's going to go in Rose's head or something like that. See that net burst? I mean, I jumped off my chair so high, I had to sit down. I was just right up in the air. But what a I really enjoyed that one. Control. All right, a silly mistake. It was a bit of a rash error penalty, but I'm pretty fed up. If every time a feather touches Harry Kane, it's just it's becoming a joke. But I first half, and like I said, it came back to 1-1, and Arsenal, maybe I have to go back 18 months, may have not coped with it. Some people felt we were a bit shaky, and maybe we were. Oh God, what have we done here with this? But the way they came out then in the second half, this is such a big improvement of character and mind amongst this team. I'm so very proud of them, every one of them, and the fans for getting behind them the way. And I just wanted to come back on what you said about the atmosphere. I had somebody in Australia yesterday who comes and visits, regularly. And this is just in a long time that I can remember hearing people up the road as I'm leaving the stadium. As I'm what you said, it's an amazing feeling to uplift you before you even go in, when you can hear that. And that's really, a test how the fans are coming together and getting behind the manager. And we're all part of Arsenal Football Club. We might not be out on the pitch, but we're as big a part of it. And we've all got our part to play as fans to keep this going, because it's magnificent home as well.
Yeah, definitely. George, what were your thoughts?
So kind of like what Jones said, like the first half, I thought when Partey's goal went in, I was like, because where my seat was right above the Spurs fans, so couldn't have been in a better place, to be fair. Then when it went 1-1 after that silly mistake, that and I'll be honest with you, that's the only time I was nervous throughout the whole day. I wasn't that nervous before. I said that we'd win 3-1. I predicted it on other YouTube shows. We just had too much at the Emirates. But then when it went 1-1, I thought the difference is there. If that was Arsenal last season, I think that we would have lost it and thrown it away. But the character, obviously, that we showed, and then we put that second half performance in. So I was happy with that. Obviously, don't get me started on someone like Richarlison. And I don't have many kind words to say about him. Like Kane, if someone sneezes, he falls over and all that stuff. So, one thing I will say, I think that Saliba kept. I think they're still trying to issue a missing person for Song. I didn't see him at the Emirates for the whole time. He did nothing for me. So I thought people like Saliba and that kept him kind. I thought Ben White done well.
Yeah,
again,
funny to say that, George. Last week's show, we had a comment on our live chat. Yeah. Son will embarrass Ben White again. Clucking Bell.
Can they let me know when that's happened then? So I'm still waiting.
I'm still worrying. It must have been Ben White embarrassing Son.
Because apparently the police have had to file like a missing persons report on Song. They ain't found him. He was last seen entering the tunnel. But and I'll say it again. I thought Xhaka had an amazing game again. That's got to be in that situation. He's got to be the only person where quite a lot of our fan base hated him, and it was a hatred towards him. Which, whether we agree with that or not, I personally don't agree with that. But like now, everyone loves him. Like even comments on it. Like he has his own song and everything. So, and just in this new advanced role, what Mikel's playing him in, he's like a complete different player for me. And I think Jesus is different as well. Like he bullied quite a lot of that Tottenham back. Well, I was gonna say back four, but it's back 10, wasn't it, or back 9, however many I want to put in defence.
Yeah, very boring, wasn't it?
Yeah. So, but a quick thing going back to the atmosphere, I do agree in a sense about the last 18 months. But for me, this season, where I normally sit is right behind the Ashburton Army, and so towards the last part of the season, it was like how it is a little bit, but this season, I think it's gone up, say 3 or 4 levels, and that was even before we were winning. Like now, everyone just seems united at the time. I get that could change after a couple of defeats, because then you get the people who are just waiting for that. But I think the Emirates is a bit of a fortress now, and I don't think we've ever really been able to say that.
No, definitely. I think that's the void, isn't it? And that's the disconnection between the club and the fans. I think at the end of the day, because we struggled to find or be able to call that our home. Going from
and that's what Arteta said he wanted to do. Like, if you go back and listen to him originally, he said, he wanted Arsenal to be back where they are, but he needed to bring the fans and the club back. And now I honestly believe that's what he's done. Like, with these group of players, they're quality. Like, for example, you got Zinchenko drinking in the Tollington.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like he was in there yesterday after the game, and he went and watched the Manchester derby there today. You've got Bukayo Saka doing the stuff with the young children, what he does. You've got
Zinchenko weren't drinking Sambucas, was he? I hope not for a
game. That would have been funny, wouldn't
it? Probably not. No,
if he goes up to the bar,
so
saying, "Can I have a shot of Saliba or something?"
Yeah.
But no, I'm like, and if they just. You feel a connection and a relationship with the players, whereas throughout the last few years, that nowhere near have we been like that. And it's like I can't remember who said it earlier. It's like when people make their comments about Arsenal, you know that Arsenal are good again because everyone hates it. Like if we weren't any good at the moment, they wouldn't be saying much. But the amount of people's skin we're getting underneath. Like, but I don't hear Jamie O'Hara saying anything or Jermaine Genius, so I'm still waiting.
We've had this early, didn't we? We had this still about him going on about Tottenham when Conte signed for him. We got a world class manager now. We're back again. It's like he's always his one, and like we've got a guy that's learning on the job, and you look at it like that. They've got
a world-class manager who's waiting for the Juve job.
Yeah, well, but again, it's just a bit poor, isn't it? Just poor from them.
I'd rather have I've said it for the whole time. I would rather have Arteta at my club than Conte.
Yeah.
Even when Arteta he's just another Mourinho for me. He might get you success in that short term, but when he leaves your club and the players, like you look back in time, look at the way Conte left Chelsea.
Yeah,
like there's some certain players saying no, he's like he's a monster. Like when it comes to training, like even with Tottenham, like Son and Kane were passing out earlier in the pre-season because of how bad it was. I don't know. I think we're in a lot better place, happier place than them lot, and it's absolutely brilliant.
Good. I'm just going to dip into the online chat. It's all kicking off in there at the minute.
Bobby John.
Yeah, Colin, how you doing, mate? Anybody going to say they don't want Party now? Hello all, smiley and laughing faces. Yeah, there were a lot of talk about do we get rid of him? I think that was one of those. It was it's just the injuries.
Say that about Xhaka though, couldn't you?
I think it was more the just not being available.
The number of injuries, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was all about not being able to play, was it? And being out more than actually playing.
But the amount of people I've heard, we should have sold Xhaka to Roma. I don't hear that anymore.
Yeah,
thank goodness.
It's still. I'd take him, and I'd say I'd be keeping him until he looks to retire.
Yeah.
Certainly for the next 2 years, Xhaka.
I agree.
Colin's going again. Xhaka's stunt double is still bossing the middle of the field. I think he's always there. I think you just have to have the balance.
Kevin Xhaka.
I like the little Giroud sort of scorpion kicking that he tried. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, we just got to get the balance in midfield, don't we? Really, and that's what he's done this season. I think now.
He's got better players around him.
Yeah,
he's got better players in front of him and better players behind him. So
Xhaka more advanced. He ain't got to be put into them positions to have to make those sort of decisions where he was getting sent off. And I think I was having this chat with you, wasn't it, Bray, about Jesus and Xhaka. Like everyone bands on about Xhaka with his bookings when Jesus has got more than him, but they don't say nothing.
Yeah,
So
like I say,
it's
it's
a
not.
mythology with Xhaka for me.
Yeah, it's not all doom and gloom with him, is it? Really, it's
Kevin to Xhaka. That's what I call him. At the minute.
that's it. Alex said, "Good evening to all and to the panel.
Hey, Alex.
Make sure you subscribe to In the
Well.
North Bank and share the content. Yeah, drop us both a like and subscribe. Does mean a lot to everyone. Follow the panelists on Twitter and get involved. Yeah, Colin. Yeah, smash the likes, everyone. Totten Rotten pounding deserves likes. Does indeed. I was wearing the Arsenal 0-2 home kit watching that North London derby. It felt so good. Yeah. I like those kits.
Was that the one with Sega or Dreamcast, or was that?
No, that's the actual 0-2. That was I like the blue and the proper yellow, bright yellow kit with.
Oh, the yellow one.
Have you seen it when you
Yeah,
taking some?
really good.
Not recently, but in one of those cupboards.
So, yeah, no, that's a nice kit. I like that. And Saliba put Son and Kane in his pocket. Yeah, he definitely had a good evening, didn't he? Oh, sorry, a good game.
And this is what we were saying, that he needed to be tested. That's what I keep hearing these so-called experts say. So he's played against, inverted comma, a world-class striker in Kane, apparently. Just going on what they're saying. So he has been tested, but it does make me laugh when they say he needs to be tested. So playing against Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe ain't a test, is it really? But I thought Saliba done really well. To be fair, then I think he kept his head a bit more. I've been saying it for a little while. My only worry about us at the minute is Gabriel. I've been saying it for a little while. He just looks a bit shaky.
Yeah, I don't know if I think I said that to you, like, and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
With you, Joan, when they were saying about, I'm not sure how Saliba would handle a first North London derby. Would it be too much for him? And I was like, well, he's dealt with big atmospheres in France.
If you've been in that stud and trying to be in there sometimes, and the teams you're playing, I think it is well used to coping with it. And I mean, watching him yesterday, he was so confident box. I mean, he wasn't going to leather the ball down the other end. He was going to play it out. That takes a lot of guts, you know. I mean, and I know. Yeah. I mean, the fans around me were starting to lay from the bloody end, you know. But that he needed to do that, I think, to have that level of confidence. It's amazing, and I really, really like that back line. And I do take the comment about Gabriel that always seems to be him where the mistake sometimes comes in. And what is it in it to want to do your job and then making a mistake in doing that? But
yeah,
you get somebody over that, and as a team, you get over that and that really well. But yes, Saliba for me has been outstanding.
Yeah, that's it. And it was one of those. It was quite fitting that obviously that penalty obviously happened with Gabriel coming in again. It's a rash, maybe say, decision where he's kind of gone to ground and made contact with Richarlison. But it does seem a little bit like that, where he has that little, I say, red hot streak where it almost kind of it goes to his head a little bit, and he just maybe reacts a little bit quick, and all of a sudden it's done. Against City, for instance, he done that, he kicked up the penalty spot, and then goes in with Jesus and gets that second red card or yellow card. Just little kind of things that, again, you want a cool head, and Saliba is everything the opposite, isn't he? And you saw the
Yeah,
one
he
time
is,
he
yeah.
dribbled out the penalty area, didn't he? Just done a little spin and then
Talking about
went past.
to do that when you've got, those sort of players. I mean, made sort of multiple substitutions, didn't they? I mean, they virtually had a completely, I don't know, 40. Must have been the last 50 minutes at least. I mean, there were 4, another one on. So no, he did exceptionally well. That young man, confidence to do that, dribbling that ball out the box. I mean, that's class. As players around him as well.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, they say Arsenal, always supporting Arsenal comes with a health warning, and yeah, having a player like that certainly, as a centre back, doing that that doesn't do anything good to your hearts and if like that. So yeah, that's probably gone up another little rating. It's probably like an A+ now. Of like, you're probably just like you're getting worried about your health now, because yeah, no, he's got the quality there, you can see, and he's only going to get better. And you obviously hope that contract signing comes in very quickly, because yeah, it'll be a big bow to have really for us as a club, because I think tying him down will be very good, because I think there's going to be a lot of people going to be sniffing around him in the summer, and I am slightly worried about potentially who his agent is and if like that, because there has been kind of rumours certainly over the last year or whatever about him and what's going on. But as soon as that gets done and dusted, I think we can all be a bit more reassured and happy. So yeah, he's got to be number one. Get him back on and signed up. Conversation Club evening panel. Good to see the First Lady back on and another female contributor. Yeah, it is indeed. So yeah, welcome again, everyone. Yeah, Saka finally kicking into full gear.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's due to Seaside White getting very involved in the attack. Look, it's another one, isn't it, Richard? Ben White again. He's probably an unsung hero on there, where you suddenly picture like the players that have been kept quiet through the games. You look at Tony, yeah, and then even say Kane and Son, very quiet.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, he had his assist for Partey's goal, and then in the second half, he overlapped, taking the defenders away from Saka, which allowed him to cut in, take that shot, which led to Jesus' goal. He probably did the dirty work. He wasn't really seen and mentioned much, but he was solid going back and going forward. So I'd be very hard pressed to find a player there that wasn't a 7+8 in that game.
Yeah, no, there were some many good performances, weren't there? And I noticed, I'll come back to it a little bit later, but yeah, I think Odegaard's still done a decent job. Yeah, I'll go back
again,
to
he's one of these
that.
players.
I'll go back to that. Yeah, but yeah, no, he does. He ticks it along. He keeps it moving. He keeps play moving, and yeah, everyone that always again, it's some players are awkward and they're not really understood in the way they play and the way the whole game goes, and you suddenly think because they're not always on the ball or anything like that they're not really involved and they're not doing it. I think he used to have it at a time with even Ozil to a certain degree, where he'd always be, say, picking up the ball, and he'd be turned lazy. But you look at his running and his the stats of how far he travels and everything like that. He was up there with like some of the best players in those games. Admittedly, he was playing too deep, and when he was picking up those balls, and he should be playing higher, like a Xhaka is now. But some are a little bit, just a little bit warped in how they see a certain player playing. Because
I think with Odegaard as well, he is that Ozil type player, but he will get you one more pass out of a move that you think's going nowhere, which means your opposition is going to have to run one more phase, and it's the unsung work. He presses, he leads the press along with Jesus, and he's always running back towards his own goal, trying to defend as well. So sort of an unsung, unseen player. In a sense, he does all the stuff that he needs to do, and it goes under the radar sometimes.
No, definitely. All right, next up, Conversation Club. I'm going to go to Ange on this one. Thursday's Europa League game. Obviously, Bodo. Should Arteta go strong or play fringe players?
Oh, that's a very good question. Heard of them? I think it's going to be about half and half. Zinchenko, Jesus, they want to get minutes in. They're very passionate, but equally, God forbid you don't want an injury. I tell you, I really want to see Rock Steady Eddie, as well as Marquinhos and little Fabio, but I really want to see Rock Steady Eddie shine, but he's not getting enough game time.
Yeah. No, my view on it, I think he should play the fringe players. He's got to keep them ticking over, and he's also got to. I think at home it's a good one because they're going to have the buzz of the atmosphere at the stadium. I don't think it matters what kind of game it is, whether or not it's a Europa League Thursday night game to being, say, Premiership. You know what I mean? It's going to be a good atmosphere. And I think it will only help those players as well. So I think there'll be all those fringe players coming in. Certainly when we have that game against Liverpool, which, if you're thinking of priorities, that game is massive.
Yeah,
absolutely massive. So yeah, I would be fringe on Thursday, and we're going to go big again against Liverpool because it is the next test, and we've got to show up for that game. And if we do show up for that game like we did on Saturday, then there we go. We see where we are actually at. And if we win that, then Liverpool are going to be very out of touch, really, in all honesty. And you're suddenly thinking, yeah, it is just Man City that we've got to try and get past. But I don't think we're not there at that level yet. But let's ride that ride, and let's go with the wave and take us as far as we can. And who knows? You never say never. But at the start of the season, were we saying, oh yeah, we're going to be chasing Man City? No. But yeah, that's what I was saying. Conversation Club. I think it is. I think it's going to be a fringe team. I think it'll be foolish to really go very strong again. But there are a lot of players there that do deserve some game time that they haven't had. Look at another game for Tierney and another game for even like Holding and whatever, just to kind of freshen it up. You've then got Marquinhos. You've got even Nelson to kind of get some game time. Nketiah. It's nice just to have options, and you've got to use them and keep them fresh because you never know when they're going to need to be used. Yeah, Evelyn John the Gooner. Yeah, North London is most definitely red. It always has been, and always will be. Yeah, I think that's how it works, isn't it? Restream bot John the Gooner. I don't know about that one. It's not bionic. No, he is human. Conversation Club. Yeah, that was a big talking point, wasn't it? The red card, George. Did it really change the game?
Yeah. I don't think it changed the game as much as people think. I think we still probably would have gone on to win, but it obviously made it a lot easier for us. But what makes me laugh, how they could question it. But that's the one that made me laugh a bit more. But it was on Martinelli, wasn't it? Emerson Royale. So because I think Martinelli had he had like he was ripping that back four of Tottenham's to shreds just in that whole game for me. So, but with a red card, it weren't questionable, definite red. To be fair, I think Richarlison could have gone as well. How he stormed out and tried to steam in. But like, I think he went to say something as well, and Xhaka told him basically to shut up. So you wouldn't want to mess with Xhaka, would you really? But no, I don't think it changed the game as much. It made it a bit easier for us. Like, as soon as that red card went, you knew they weren't going to get back in the game. Maybe there's a slight chance if they still have 11 men. But it's an easy excuse, isn't it, for them lot to say, "Oh well, if we didn't have the red card, we probably still would have got back in the game."
Yeah, that was that was something I heard last night coming back. I'm listening to talk rubbish, and they were saying about that Tottenham had kind of just given up the game, and that's why they made the substitutions. Blah blah blah. As a game lost, it was like, well, it was like at that point 2-1, and it's like, well, why would you be saying that when you're suddenly, you know what I mean? It makes a mockery, and then it also goes back to like last season's game at Tottenham. You start they're all crowing about they beat us 3-0, blah blah blah. But yeah, we got a red card, and in the first half, well, yeah, we gave up the game. We just said, right, okay, yeah, we don't really want it. I just didn't really get that kind of argument. It was just a bit soft. It's a game of football at the end of the day.
It's Tottenham, mate.
Yeah, it's always an excuse.
Nothing they say is worth.
Yeah, but nah, that's it. The only thing better than the red card was Karen Kane's red face late in the second half when he took a good tackle tumble. Yeah. And Tide Gunnosaurus, evening. Everyone, great panel of hosts. Yeah, they are.
Hey, mate.
Hello, Gunnosaurus.
Mate.
Fucking Bell. Spurs, I thought, was a far too big a game for Odegaard. And how he's captain is just a joke. I don't know.
On what grounds?
Yeah,
Only seems one joker in that comment.
What is he? Is this a Tottenham fan or is he a wind up?
This is Colin's other.
After that first one last week. Yeah, after that
so
comment
to come
last
back
week.
to that, so Odegaard being captain for his football club and his country is a joke. Okay, I'll get that if that's what he's finished. But we're top of the league. It don't look like a bit of a joke to me. To be fair, I don't know who this person is. To be fair, but,
yeah, that's it. It's
that
opinion,
comment's a bit. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but what does make me laugh? So, if it wasn't Odegaard who people would have as captain, people say Xhaka. Not being rude. Up to only a few weeks ago, people still hated him and wanted him gone. And they're only saying they're not saying anything about him now because he's playing well. Other people wanted Gabriel, who's not ready for that job. I think Odegaard done a decent job. What? Because I don't see what he actually done wrong against Spurs. Personally, I thought he just had a professional job. He's just come back from an injury. We don't know what he does off the ball. Like, he's obviously doing something right for Arteta to see him as a captain and captain material. And when Odegaard's not there, you've got the other players who are helping him out.
Yeah. No, I'd say
that's just me personally, though.
Yeah, it's all opinions, and yes, people have obviously got views. Differ to others.
When he's lifting up the title at the end of the season, we'll see if it's still a change.
Colin then said Odegaard was the only player wearing an Arsenal kit that I wasn't really impressed with. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
He was probably a 7, and when you had players that were 8 and 9s, you can see where he's coming from, but he didn't have a bad game. That's the thing. He didn't have a stinker. It was just that other players outshone him.
Who's the Tottenham captain?
I
Is
think
it
it was
Lloris?
Kane. Or was Lloris?
Yeah.
Lloris, yeah.
Just like that. Let's just compare captains if we're gonna.
Mhm.
So if it is Hugo Lloris, the one
Yeah,
who
it is.
basically set up Jesus' goal.
It was a good assist, wasn't it?
So
Best by Lloris.
yeah, it was like that's what I mean. Like we're saying about captain, that's
Yeah.
when your captain is having a bad game.
Yeah, night
And if
tired.
it was Kane,
Dinosaurus
well, rubbish.
said
Anyway.
something else. I noticed this as well. I was watching Match of the Day. They pointed out that Son played a number of simple passes well, or if Son had played a number of passes well, Spurs could have scored 2 or 3 goals. What are your thoughts on this and our defence? Yeah, I thought that, and they kind of made it look a little bit like it was a real kind of like even game when in reality, watching the whole game,
It wasn't.
thought we were in control. Yeah, there's moments where you could say, oh, if a pass was played the right weight or whatever that, then each team could probably have had about 2 or 3 goals as well. I don't know what you thought about it, Joan. Did you catch Match of the Day?
Unfortunately, I didn't. Somewhere still on the M5 or when it was on, and I haven't watched the replay yet. But it's part of the course that again, it becomes a subject of conversation. But we never get brilliant punditry on Match of the Day anyway. But I was probably I'm maybe unfair in commenting because I didn't watch the whole. You've now whetted my appetite to watch the replay on Match of the Day to listen to said. But going back to Martin Ødegaard as well, it's just probably like to other players around that other players are putting in the effort as well. We're not relying on what make things happen. But when we did want him to make things happen, he was putting some nice cross. And not everybody's going to shine every game, but Ødegaard, and he's an essential cog in this team. Other players were also putting that shift in, so that he wasn't having to do a lot, but when he did, and I just want to cut in here, and I just read through the comments, and somebody from wants me to say hello to their mum as she's watching. So hello, whoever, and I hope you're enjoying the show. Okay, back to the comments.
Okay. So Partey is the main man for me. What a goal. Yeah, it was great little goal, wasn't it? A lovely goal. He'd obviously been practicing his shooting because I'm sure
He's been practicing since he signed, didn't he?
Well, actually,
over previous ones that would have got into Rosette, in all honesty.
Actually, Ødegaard has said, and it's on the Arsenal.com website, that they've been practicing that in training, getting the ball to him. They recognise that he would have a lot of time on the ball in that area, so they've been practicing getting in that time, and so it's a training ground move in a lot of ways.
Yeah, no.
It's
Every
nice
time
to see
he misses, he's got to pay everyone.
And come off, isn't it?
Yeah,
which I think is the most sort of reaction from Arteta and the coaching staff.
Yeah, no, it's good. I think the whole coaching staff in the back room deserve a massive load of credit because from what they've had to put up with and deal with, there's been a lot of bad noise going around all from last year. The documentary when it's actually released this year. And just you look at it and you just think, well, you're seeing the seeds of it all now, and it's as it goes on, it's becoming more and more like good of seeing what they're actually doing. So he has deserved a lot of credit because again he's only a rookie manager, and he's just beaten in a game against a world class manager. People actually were saying that should have been potentially an Arsenal manager. That was one of
No,
the
thank
the
you.
names. So yeah, all these ones I wanted.
They
to,
also
like,
said that about
maybe.
Brendan Rodgers as well.
And yeah, with him as well. Yeah, there were a few. But good evening, all. Lynn says in the chat.
Can I say
Fucking Bell.
Thailand? And me and Ange, along, would like you and Joan on the Thursday show at some point in the future, if that's possible.
Yeah, be
Who's that?
delighted.
That's a Lynn.
Yeah, Lynn and Joan. Yeah.
Yeah. Lynn, drop the first lady a message, and yeah, you arrange that for the next show. So yeah, come on board and come and join the panel. Yeah, Clucking Bell again. Odegaard must be the only captain in history to be hooked against United and Spurs, and all this in 3 weeks. Yeah, I just don't get this narrative of captains have been substituted before.
Yeah, no, I mean yesterday he's just
don't
come
get
back
it.
from injury, hasn't he? It's sensible to preserve him for the big game against Liverpool.
Yeah,
because
no, I think he had a knock before the Man United game as well, didn't he?
Yeah,
I think
he carried a knock into the United game. So again, he was hooked just to preserve his fitness, not because of a performance.
Yeah, no, yeah, I don't.
I just want to
go
like kind of counteract that argument. Ilkay Gundogan is the Man City captain, and he's been substituted. He's been substituted against bigger teams.
Yeah, he's not very good captain, is he?
No. He's only won like about 3 or 4 Premier League.
Exactly. So yeah, it's silly. It just shows that we've got a bit more.
Kevin De Bruyne, when he was captain last season, he got substituted against when they lost to Spurs and Chelsea and Liverpool and Man United. He was the first player for Man City to be substituted as a captain against all top 4 teams. So, like, not like I don't know. De Bruyne is not too bad of a player.
Yeah. No, he's not bad at a
player. So I think with Odegaard, he had injuries. So like, obviously I don't know if he played that much for Norway in the international break, but he wasn't 100% fit. So, and when you're in control of a game, you take your best players off, don't you?
Yeah, I think he played in that second game for Norway. I think he played for like about 70 minutes or 60 minutes or something.
Like we've seen throughout the history, like when you've got the game wrapped up and you see all the top teams do it, they take their better players off.
That's it. Well,
unless your name's Man City today and you leave Haaland on for like 90 minutes, but.
It's Friday.
He did get a hat trick.
I might rest him against us, maybe. I don't know.
Let's hope.
Yeah, Tired Gunsaurus says, I'm concerned if Partey is injured for a long period. What are your thoughts on how we play? Again, we know we just hope that we can get through, I reckon, until the World Cup. And then we hit January, and then there's a potential that we do get.
They have to buy in January. There's no, they've got to buy a backup for Partey because you can't love Partey to bits, but you can't trust him for a whole season.
Yeah. Just give him a little rest and be able to just share the workload because
it just shares the load, though, doesn't it? As well, like we've said the same thing about Tierney. We can't trust him for a whole season, so we went and bought Zinchenko. So why can't they do something similar? So it halves the load, so there's not so much pressure on people like Partey and Tierney. And then you see them, like they'll play the odd game here, and then you look and think, oh, well, they've played like 20 games.
Yeah, no, definitely. Lynn said, my man of the match was Mikel Arteta. He got the right formation. He used the subs correctly, and you could see the players are working for him, and he outclassed Conte.
Yeah,
100%. Again, you take a lot of credit from it, and there's a lot of talk saying about him just making. Again, it was alluded to the Man United game. We made the substitutions and the wrong decisions, and that was something else that Jamie O'Hara said, wasn't it? And that Conte was just going to outclass him and everything like that. Look how it ended up.
I'm looking forward to hearing what he says.
I can tell you what he said. He said Conte couldn't, because of a red card, he couldn't make the subs that he would have made. Yet he took off Son and Richarlison and left Kane on. And Kane's not a player who's ever going to hurt any defence by running in behind. So I can't see how his statement stands any stead. If he'd been the manager of any thought, he'd have still bought those players he bought on, but he'd have taken Kane and left Richarlison or Son on to try and get him behind with a little bit of those two players who've got a little bit of speed and about them. But
that was one of the loudest cheers at the game as well when Son and Richarlison went off. Like you had like 60,000 fans just like cheering.
Yeah, it was nice. It was good to see. I'm just having a look. There are loads of comments, and I'm not going to get through all of them. I think it's quite nice just to see, because there's lots of discussion in and around the people in this little chat room. But one question: Ange, can this Arsenal team beat Man City and Liverpool?
Whoa. Tell you what I'll settle for the match, a draw. Anything else is a heck of a bonus. I'm going to go for draw.
Yeah. What about you, Richard?
I think we can beat Liverpool. The City one is different because you've got Haaland, who's a beast, and I'll tell you now, if that guy doesn't get 60 goals in all competitions this season, I'll be very surprised. And I said at the beginning of the season, Man City are the favourites for the title, and if we can be best of the rest, I'd be happy with that. But how do you stop Haaland? I was listening to that first 30 minutes because I was working, and he hadn't really been involved in the game. And in the space of 8 minutes, he gets 2 goals. It's ridiculous what he's done. 17 goals in 8 games.
Oh,
so far.
It's crazy. They're talking that apparently there's potential that he could break Shearer's record inside his 5-year deal.
Yeah,
you start to think that, and it's like you think, wow, it's a lot of goals, but yeah, I think we need a few more years than that.
Yeah.
But
my thing is, I'd take a draw off City, and I just don't think Liverpool at the moment, midfield wise, that's their problem. But I think a lot of their legs have gone in midfield, and they're missing Mane.
Yeah, I think they're struggling to play for Klopp at the minute. I don't know, but with Liverpool, when you're looking at a first or a home game, and you're thinking that this is the one that you can work on. Going to City is going to be obviously hard. Obviously, I think are we playing City away before we're playing at home, because that got rearranged, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
it depends when they rearrange it. Though.
Yeah. So I imagine we're going to the Etihad. So yeah, the away games are a lot different, but yeah, if we can put in a performance like we did against City last year, and we put on a performance on Sunday, then look, that's really good. Well, Joan, what are your thoughts? Do you reckon could we get anything from them?
Of course we can. The team have to go into these games without fear. They've got to go in with belief. Right? And when you go out with belief and no fear, this team can go on games. I do take the point. I mean, I watched the today, and they took very, very, very quickly. And yes, Haaland is a beast, but away hunt him down, and don't give him the space. I mean, he's an incredible player, young man, and he is going to go a long, long way in the game. But of course, we can go out and beat them. And in my heart, Manchester City. So I'm going to say yes, we can. And if we don't, that we drop down in any sort or anything, but it's in our power to go out there and beat any team. And the amount against Spurs, that's the commitment you want against every team. Don't draw much. You go out and you give the same always. And that's why City, they do game in, game out. It's the same level of performance, whether they're playing or whatever. Pep has instilled that. And I think you can see that Teta, when we were the question a little while ago about fringe players play these games, you've got this very big balance of showing you're playing, right? They may not be the most famous team in the world, but you are playing Manchester City. You've earned Manchester City, and Pep shows his respect against those teams to make sure you give a so fringe players do need to get experience. So we're in that position now where we've got a few to have that balance of both. That's I know that's sort of track. I believe we can go and beat these teams, and it needs to come from there. It needs to come from the team as one to get in and put their lines for Arsenal. What you want, you will achieve with that hard work and commitment.
Yeah, well, I think that's something we've seen now with Arteta and the way he's instilling this kind of mentality into the squad, isn't he? And he's trying to really kind of get them in that kind of feeling that you've got to always be on it. And you see from that documentary, All or Nothing, and you see the way he is and the way he tries to rile them up and get them thinking that they've got to win the game. Obviously quite vocally as well, obviously from that, being inside the dressing room. But it's all down to who's available. And yeah, like I say, if we steer clear of injuries, yeah, there's obviously times where you're going to pick up injuries. We have been unlucky with injuries for a few years now. And you just hope you might just get a little break where we do steer clear of it. And if we can steer clear in this little period, going into November, then the break for the World Cup, look, it's another mini season. And if we're in a decent position where we are, I'll tell you what, we probably are going to take a little bit of stopping because, yeah, City are toe and toe with us, but all the others are falling behind. In all honesty, we're looking at say like Liverpool, and they've got to claw back a lot of points. But yeah, there is always the possibility. George, anything else to say on that? Can we beat City and Liverpool?
I think if we've got players and our mentality that we can't beat Liverpool and Man City, then they shouldn't play for Arsenal, really, because we need to think we can beat anyone. We've seen how the Premier League is. Like Man City are putting teams to the sword at the minute. Well, they put United to the sword today, and Haaland's just a cheat code. But all it takes is Haaland not to have a good game. He ain't gonna score hat tricks or 2 goals in every single game. So all it takes is when Arsenal play him, Haaland has an off day, Jesus doesn't, we win 1-0. Why not? So Liverpool, I agree with Richard. I think out of the two, we've got more of a chance against Liverpool, and that's not me being too ultra positive or before people think that, but I believe Arsenal can beat anyone on their day, but also I know we can lose to anyone on our day as well. So, but if the motivation and the confidence that Arteta's installed into that team, I don't think he's saying, "Oh yeah, we need to get top 4." I really don't, because like he said, like for him, Arsenal challenging for titles and winning trophies is where Arsenal should be at, not trying to compete to get into a European tournament. So, the way we're going, why not? we don't know what sort of form Man City are going to be in by the time we play them.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? What happens after Christmas?
Yeah,
After the World Cup.
yeah, exactly. And we don't know where we're going to be at either. But so like we could go and play Man City, and they could have like 5 or 6 injuries. Like that does happen to teams. So look at it's happened to Liverpool. It's happened to us.
Yeah.
Like say they have no De Bruyne, Haaland, Foden, Grealish, and I know they've still got 5 or 6 players that can play, but they're still going to be huge. So you just don't know. Like we could be in so much bad form. They could be in bad form. We could be in good form, and we're gonna have a secret. We're gonna have like a sneaky look into Man City with Zinchenko and Jesus. So if anyone knows how they're gonna play, it's gonna be them two.
No, definitely. But no, guys, I'm serious to the thing about we've got to round this up. I think we could all probably stay here for about 3-4 hours and just talk Arsenal. Fortunately,
Probably longer than that.
Unfortunately, we've got the referee's got the whistle to the mouth and he's going to blow it. And we've gone through Alex Ferguson time, and seriously, some really good interaction on the chat. I'd still like to see a couple of other of the contributors coming in and joining us on a Sunday session. Look, we got a cracking set of contributors today. Joan and George and Richard, thank you very much for coming on and having a little bit of your evening with us.
Yes, having me, mate.
Yeah, thanks.
Really nice to talk about Arsenal, wasn't it? After a real positive game, and just
exactly.
easy just to share thoughts with other supporters. But it goes to show in the chat box, you do have different opinions, but that's what makes football really special. And yeah, not everyone's going to have the same thoughts, but you take them on board and you move on. But yeah, there's no disagreement. Everyone's got an opinion, but we can just talk all day about these things, can't we? Because it's such a great thing to do. Talking about football, it's brilliant. But yeah, some really good stuff and some really good views from all you here. So yeah, George, rest up. And when's your next show?
Oh, I need to liaise with Richard because
It should be Thursday, but yeah.
Right. So yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah.
It's just the timing, isn't it?
Yeah, very much.
Depending on that European match.
No, that's it. No, that's it. So I'll be. Is it an early kickoff or is it 8 o'clock?
I'm not sure. That's what I've got to check.
8 o'clock.
Oh, so we might be so it might be we might be, but we do it and then see if we can.
So I noticed the PSV game's been put to a 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
That's going to be an interesting one for everyone getting over there. So yeah.
It's a 6 o'clock there, but it's 8 o'clock here, isn't it? Because it's still British summertime, I believe.
Oh no, sorry, it's the home game at PSV is.
Oh, the home game is
6 o'clock. Yeah,
it's just because where they moved it. The City one as well, because City was originally meant to be on that day.
Yeah,
I suppose it stops having to change your policing around as well.
Yeah, but no, look, we know this is very, very promising now. We're in a good position, and we look at it and we think, yeah, we've got points on the board, and yeah, if we get a result against Liverpool, it puts us in a very good position. And
Liverpool 14 points.
That big discussion about do we have to beat those top 4 clubs or top 6?
Well, beat one.
No, it's only Spurs. So you can't celebrate.
United won the title without beating the top 6.
We don't have to.
But they beat everyone else.
14, 15 other teams. If you are winning more of those games, you're going to have more points on the board than worrying about maybe a couple of wins against those. It may be tighter, but I'm sure we'll pick up a couple of wins at home against these teams. But you've got to try and finish as high as possible. But 100%, we're in a much better position than last season.
Yeah, that's the thing I liked about that's the thing I liked about the match of the day as well. They brought up that no team with 20 points, since there's been 4 teams in the Champions League, have failed to qualify for the Champions League.
Yeah, well, that's it. Records are there to be broken, but hopefully we haven't. We're going to just touch wood. It'll be fine. We'll be all right. But we just have to just make sure, focus on ourselves, and make sure that we're ready for every game when it's there. But as I say, Gooners, thank you so much for tonight. It's been a really good show, and look forward to next week. And if you want to come back on again, I'm not sure how it's going to work next week because Liverpool game and getting back.
Be a bit awkward. Yeah.
It's going to be an interesting one.
We may have to,
I know. I'm not even sure what state I'm going to be at. I don't know whether or not I'm going to be able to speak. I'm sure George probably ain't going to speak. He'll be able to speak.
If we win, no.
So we have to play it by ear, but it may be a.
We have to do it. We can do it from
Monday
the pub,
show,
right?
Maybe a big Monday show. I don't know. We'll have to have a little ask about that.
We'll do it from the Tully.
Maybe Zinchenko pop in. Maybe we can have a special.
Yeah, you wanted to contribute. Oh, there you go.
I've got to go, guys. All right.
Yeah.
Good luck.
No worries.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much, guys.
See you later. Bye.
Thank you.
See you later all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.